Hi Verbling, my name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and today we're talking about verb conjugation. We'll be doing some fill in the blanks and deciding if the verb should be conjugated in simple past, present perfect, or past perfect. And if we get through that, we have a conjugation game. If anyone wants to message me with comments or questions about this class, you can reach me at my Verbling message box or on Facebook. And I'll put my Facebook name in the chat box. Rodolfo, welcome to class.
Thank you, teacher. What's your name, Carla?
Uh-huh.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Is this your first time in class with me?
Yeah,
Good to have you with us. Where are you from?
Mexico.
Excellent. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, you too. Me too.
Max, welcome to class.
Thanks a lot, teacher. Thanks a lot, Michaela. This is my first time in your classroom, and I'm very happy to be here. I come from Italy, in the north of Italy, in Europe.
Very nice. What part of Italy are you from?
I am from Turin, that is in Piemonte, that is in northwest of Italy.
I lived there for a year.
Ah, wow. Wow. A very nice place where to live.
Yes, it was beautiful. I had a wonderful time.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. In the reality, I'm 35 kilometers far from Turin, and let me use my webcam, and then I can show you from my house.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. This is
an excellent view.
Yeah. A very excellent view, a very excellent landscape from my house. Okay, and then I'm quite far from Turin, but in the reality, I work in Turin and in London. And then
wow, international.
Yeah. I try to do so.
Well, it's great to have you with us today.
Are you near from Turin?
Did you have a question, Rodolfo?
Are you near from Turin?
Me?
No,
Yeah.
Max.
Max, yes, Rodolfo.
Do you like Juventus?
Rodolfo,
Juventus.
I can.
Juventus.
Juventus.
Yeah, or Torino.
Yes, of course. You are right. In Torino, there are two football, very important football that are Juventus and Torino. But I dislike soccer.
What's your team?
I dislike soccer, and then I don't have a football team that I prefer.
A unique Italian man.
Yeah.
All right, and Maria, welcome to class. Good to have you with us too.
Thank you, teacher.
How are you doing, Maria? Good week so far?
Yes, it's fine.
Anything fun planned?
No. Workout exercise, but no more.
All right. And Dimitri.
Hi, teacher.
How are you, Dimitri? I think this is my first time with you, right?
Yeah, right.
It's good to meet you. Where are you from?
Nice to meet you too. I'm from Ukraine.
Very cool. And how's your week going so far?
Just working. It's not too interesting.
Nothing super fun planned?
Plans? Well, I'm not ready to plan my weekend.
All right. So, I put the notes in the chat box. You guys can download them if you want, but there's a couple formatting issues. I'm going to be screen sharing a document that is not formatted in the way that those notes are. So it'll be easier to follow probably if you follow along with my screen share. Hola, welcome to class.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent. Anything fun planned for this week?
Nothing special.
All right. Hussein, how many classes have you done already today? A
I
lot?
don't. I think a lot, but I don't remember the number.
I think you had at least 2 classes with me, right?
Yes, you're right. And I had a really bad connection today. I don't know. I had to leave
Ah,
some of your classes early.
yeah.
Because, mm,
It happens to the best of us.
yeah.
All right. And Pablo, welcome to class.
Thanks. Hello.
How's your week going so far, Pablo?
Little tired. Working.
Already? It's only
Working.
Tuesday.
What?
It's only Tuesday. You still have a few more days to go.
Yes, but I had a weekend with concerts, beach.
Ah, you're tired
I
from your
started.
recreation.
Yes.
Well, that's good. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to screen share the document, and I put a set in the chat box as well. So we're going to start by filling in the blank. And the verb is in parentheses. So I'm going to ask you guys, when I call on you to do a particular number, read everything first and leave the verb blank. So it's always better to read the whole sentence or the whole set of sentences before you go back and try to decide which tense it's in, because usually at the end of the sentence, you'll get some kind of clue, like a time phrase or some kind of vocabulary word that will help you. So read first and then go back and try to decide which tense is the best. Sentence number 1, which is actually a set. Allah, let's start with you. Can you read it for us and then decide which is the best tense and conjugate the verb?
Yes. Did you like the movie Star Wars? I don't know. I seen never blank that movie. Okay. Did you like the movie Star Wars? I don't know. I've never seen that movie.
Excellent. And why did you choose the perfect tense for that sentence?
Because the word never,
Exactly.
never and ever.
Totally. Those are markers for perfect. Usually present perfect or sometimes past perfect. Okay. Dimitri, can you do number 2 for us?
Yes, Sam arrived in San Diego a week ago. It's simple past. It was a week ago.
Exactly. Hussein, do number 3 for us.
Yeah. My best friend and I know blank each other for over 15 years. We still get together once a week. My best friend and I have known each other for over 15 years.
So you chose perfect tense, right? Present
Yeah.
perfect? And
Yes.
why?
Because there's a process of time over 15 years, and it is still continuing, and we have to use present perfect here because it's not in the
Exactly.
past. Yeah.
Totally. It's up until now. Great. Maria, try number 4.
Okay, Stinson is fantastic writer. He writes 10 very creative short stories in the last year. One day he'll be as famous as Hemingway?
Hemingway.
Hemingway? Okay. Maybe Stinson is a fantastic writer. He he writes 10 very creative short stories in the last year. One day he'll be a famous Hemingway.
Okay, so which tense?
I think this is present simple, maybe.
And why do you think that?
I don't know, because in the last year maybe it's creative, but I confuse with the tense really.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes. So today we're going to be working a little bit on that, finding the cues in a sentence to show us which might be the best tense to use. And
Okay.
the simple present probably isn't the best tense we could use here. Our cue is in the last year. So from now and until a year ago, basically. So not a annual year like 2013, which would be last year, but in the last year, meaning from today until or before July of 2013. So from July in 2013 until this July. So the cue is from that time until now, he did the writing. So it's a period of time. Maria, do you know which tense we might use for a period of time?
Present perfect?
Yes, excellent. A period of time would usually be a perfect tense, and in this case, since it's from a time in the past until now, present perfect is the best answer. So conjugate the verb write in the present perfect.
I don't know how to conjugate this right in present perfect, teacher.
All right, so then let's have someone help us with that. Max, do you think you could help us out?
I try. I think that the sentence could be: Stinson is a fantastic writer. He has written 10 very creative short stories in the last year. One day, he will be as famous as Hemingway.
Wonderful. Yes, has written.
And of course, thanks a lot to Dimitri. You have written, has written into the chat room.
Yeah, thanks, Dimitri. All right, Max, would you like to do number 5 for us as
Yes,
well?
of course. Yeah, I try. I have not this much fun since I be a kid. This much fun. Okay, I try. I haven't. I hadn't this much fun since I was a kid.
All right, so which tenses did you choose?
The past perfect.
For the first one, right?
Yeah.
And the second one?
Since I was a kid, and then is a past a past to. I'm not so. I'm not very. I'm not so good with the verbs, of course. Also in Italy, also in Italian tongue. Okay.
Well, I think you did a great job. Your tenses are wonderful. So the first one is past perfect, and the second one, since I was a kid, would be just simple past.
Okay, it's a simple past.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, and Pablo, can you help us with the cues in number 5? What words help us understand which tense is best here?
What? I'm lost. Sorry. What?
So Max just read number 5 and he conjugated for both of the blanks. But we haven't talked yet about the words in the sentence that help us to know which is the best tense. So in reading number 5, can you see any words that tell you why we would use the past perfect for the first one and simple past for the second?
I don't know. Sorry. This sentence is strange for me.
It's a tough one because it's short. There isn't that much context there. Does anybody else know? Can anyone else help out? What words tell us?
Since.
Yes. Since is a huge marker that it should be the perfect tense, for sure. And here we have 2 events. So one verb is simple past and the other is past perfect, because when we use the past perfect, we usually have some kind of timeline, like an event that happened before a different event in the past. So that's how we know here we need past perfect and the simple past. We have a timeline. Okay. And there's an excellent question in the chat box. Do we use present perfect with in the last year? Which was for number 4, I think. Yes, number 4. Let's see. Can anyone answer that for him?
Teacher, I was about to ask the same question. Is it wrong if we choose only the past simple because there is last year? What if we say he wrote?
Okay, good question. He wrote 10 very creative stories in the last year. So what we put here originally is present perfect. We decided that present perfect was the best tense to use. And another hint in the chat box, 12 months ago until now. Yes, so there's a big distinction between last year and in the last year, which I already sort of mentioned. Last year, if I said I wrote 10 stories last year, that would mean in 2013. But when we say in the last year, we say 12 months ago until now. And because we have that time marker, the period of 12 months ago until now, present perfect is definitely the best tense. However, if you did use the simple past, it would not cause a problem in communication. I would understand what you meant. You would say, he wrote 10 very creative short stories in the last year. And that would be okay too. It might not be the best tense, but it's not a bad tense. Any other questions on that one?
So the marker is in the last year, so it's up to until now or something like that.
Yes, exactly. The marker is in the last year, and that shows us that present perfect is the best tense. But simple past wouldn't be the worst.
Miguel, just we use it like in the last year, right? We cannot say like in, for example, in the 2 years ago or something. It's not
You could
correct to
say
say that.
in the last 2 years, and that would mean 24 months ago until now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so as long as you don't use ago and also in, then you're totally fine.
Okay. So it
Okay.
refers up till now, right? In the last year, up till now.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Yeah, thank you.
No problem. All right, Pablo, it's now your turn to read number 6 and try to conjugate the verbs. Now this one is complex. There are 4 blanks. So good luck. And if you need help, we will be here to help you along because it's complex.
Most sure I will need it. Okay, and then I go on. Things change a great deal at Coltech Inc. When we first start working here 3 years ago, the company have only 6 employees. Since then, we expand to include more than 200 full-time workers. Okay, things have changed at a great deal at Coltech Inc. When we first started working here 3 years ago, the company had only 6 employees. Since then, we have expanded to include more than 200 full-time workers.
Awesome. You did a wonderful job. It is 2000, which I think you were about to correct yourself on.
Okay.
Okay, great. So now let's break that down. He gave us some wonderful conjugation, and let's go back and find out how he knew which was the best tense for each blank. We have a few markers in these sentences. Rodolfo, can you pick out any of the markers that would help us know which tenses are the best?
Okay, well, at, I think 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And what does ago mark? What kind of tense does that usually come with?
Ago mark is for present perfect.
Ago is for present perfect?
Past perfect.
Could be for past perfect, but
Could be for
in the
simple past.
blank there, it could also be for simple past.
Well, it's a past mark.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be the past perfect, and in this case, we used it for the simple past. Awesome. Yeah. What are some other markers that help us here?
Since.
Yup.
Okay.
Since is excellent.
I think when is a mark too.
Mm-hmm. And what about the first sentence? I think the first sentence is hard because there's no specific word that helps you know which is the best tense for that blank. So how did he know to use the present perfect there?
Well,
I think there's a process there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a process and a change over time.
Yeah.
So once he read the other sentences, he could see that they were describing something that changed slowly over time until now. Any other questions on number 6? All right.
No, it's no more question.
Well done, guys. Rodolfo, will you try number 7 for us?
Yeah, I told him to stay on the path when he was hiking. Could he wander off into the forest and be bitten by a snake? Well, I told him to stay on the path while he was hiking. Could he wander? I don't know the past of wander. Is it a...
The definition of the verb wander?
Yeah.
Good question. Can anyone help him with that definition?
Maybe walking alone.
Uh-huh. Walking around.
Walking around without no direction.
Yeah. No specific direction or goal, just kind of like slowly going from here to there.
Is wander a regular verb?
Yeah, it's pretty common.
Okay.
Oh, you mean like, is it regular in the... Yes.
It's like ed, finish.
Yes, exactly. Ed ending.
Would he wandered off into the forest and was bitten by the snake?
Awesome. Well done.
There
so
is no
for that
mark,
one,
but
yeah, there's not many markers.
I think he was hiking. But I think simple past is the correct form because any other don't have a right meaning.
Simple past is great for this sentence. All of it can be conjugated in the simple past. If you wanted to, you could possibly put the first blank in the past perfect, but it's not necessary. Sometimes the past perfect and the simple past are interchangeable.
Okay.
Okay. Number 8. Allah, your turn. Can you read number 8?
Listen, Donna, I don't care if you miss the bus this morning. You be late to work too many times, you are fired. Okay. Listen, Donna, I don't care if you missed the bus this morning. You've been late to work too many times, you are fired.
Okay, and how did you know that? How did you know simple past and present perfect?
This morning, it's a specific time, and the action is end already. She missed the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And for the second one, too many times, it's like something that happens regularly or something
Yeah, something that's repeated many times
repeated many
until
times.
today.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Number 9, Dimitri.
I tried to fill out the form, but I couldn't answer half of the questions. They want me to include references, but I didn't want to list my previous landlord because I have some problems with him in the past, and I knew he wouldn't recommend me. I end up listing my father as a reference. Seems like it's all simple past. It's a series of actions.
It is
Maybe
a
that's
series
why.
of actions. This one is almost like a little story. We have several blanks there, and we have this timeline of when things happened. So, it's not all simple past. But how do we know what to mark where? Does anyone have an idea of how we can tell which tenses to use here?
Maybe because I have had some problems with him in the past, because it was before I didn't want to list my previous landlord.
Yes, excellent. And sometimes the past perfect and the simple past are interchangeable, right? But here it's not. There's no way to use simple past for this one. Does anybody know why we can't use simple past here?
But we have.
Mm-hmm. So in this sentence, we're not being specific. We're not saying that one time I had a problem with him in the past or 2 times I had a problem with him in the past. We're just saying that there have been problems. We're being really vague here. And because we're not saying specifically, you cannot use simple past. If you have some specific marker like one time or on the 24th of July 2012, if you have a specific detail, then you can interchange frequently the past perfect and the simple past. But if there is no detail telling you when it happened, then you can't. You have to use the past perfect. So because it's general, we use the past perfect for the third blank. And Dimitri, can you read the whole thing for us, conjugated?
I tried to fill out the form, but I couldn't answer half of the questions. They wanted me to include references, but I didn't want to list my previous landlord, because I had had some problems with him in the past and I knew he wouldn't recommend me. I ended up listing my father as a reference.
Awesome. Well
Thanks.
done. Hussein, can you do number 10 for us?
Yeah. Sam is from Colorado, which is hundreds of miles from the coast. So he blanked the ocean. He should come with us to Miami. Hmm. He has never seen,
And why?
because it's an experience
Mm-hmm.
and he hasn't done it yet. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So we talk about experiences using the present perfect. And that word never is definitely a pretty good marker too. Well done. Next up, number 11. Maria, can you give it a try for us?
Yes. How sad. George dreamed of going to California before he died, but he didn't make it. He see never the ocean. Okay. How sad. George mm, dreamed of going to California before he died, but he didn't make it. He never seen the ocean.
Excellent. Well done. And how did you know how to conjugate those?
Maybe because the last sentence is a experience and see the ocean, never seen the ocean, and the first because it's a past because he died.
Great. Thanks, Maria.
Okay.
Teacher, is it okay if I used was dreaming?
Ooh, interesting. So, how sad. George was dreaming of going to California. Yeah, that would be okay because it's in the past. And it's usually not something we put in the progressive because if someone has a dream, it's kind of like a yes or no thing, like they have a dream to do something or they don't. In this case, we're not actually talking about dreaming like the action, but sort of like a synonym to goal, a goal of seeing the ocean. So you could say that and it wouldn't be wrong, but it's less common than just using the simple past. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Okay. And what about the difference between dreamt and dreamed? I believe that Maria used dreamt, right?
Is the past?
It's the
past?
simple past of dream.
I don't
And
know.
dreamed could be something more like conceived, imagined, or hoped for. So we can use both. Sometimes you use dreamt with a T at the end, and sometimes you use the more regular ED form. But it's more or less a similar event.
Okay.
Dream is more like an adjective, and dream is like a verb.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Okay. Max, will you go ahead and try? Didn't you have the complicated one last time too?
Teacher, can you repeat, please?
Can you read number 12 for us?
Yeah. Yes, of course. In the last 100 years, traveling became much easier and very comfortable. In the 19th century, it take 2 or 3 months to cross North America by covered wagon. The trip be very rough and often dangerous. Things change a great deal in the last 150 years. Now you can fly from New York to Los Angeles in a matter of hours. Okay, try. In the last 100 years, traveling has become much easier and very comfortable. In the 19th century, it took 2 or 3 months to cross North America by covered wagon. The trip was very rough and often dangerous. Things has changed a great deal in the last 150 years. Now you can fly from New York to Los Angeles in a matter of hours.
Awesome. So break it down for us. Which tenses did you use for each blank?
Okay. I'm not so good with the verbs, as I told before, but because I often use the sound of the sentences. I think that the first one is an action that started a lot time ago, and it is still working, and then I use has become.
Exactly, present perfect.
Okay, present perfect. Thanks a lot. And in the second one and the third one are action that action in the past, and then I use took and was. And the fourth one is an action that is still working. And then I use the past perfect.
And that last one, did you say have changed?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the only small little error is things. It seems like it should be have. Well, oh no, you said have. Never mind. Things have changed. No, I thought you said has, but you're right. Have. Okay. 13 is for Pablo.
Okay. Johnny, I can't believe how much you changed since the last time I see you. You grow at least a foot. Okay, for the first blink, I think is I can't believe how much you have changed since the last time I saw you. You have grown at least a foot.
Awesome. So tell us why you chose those tenses.
The first one, all?
All of them.
Okay. How to explain? Because it's familiar, but
It can be tough to explain sometimes, but it brings you a deeper knowledge of these things if you can understand some of the inner workings. Plus, it's really helpful for other students who might not be as comfortable with these kinds of verbs. So is there anything you can tell us about how you chose those verbs?
I cannot explain.
That's okay. So, can anyone else see something that might help a student recognize which tense is right here?
Well, in the fifth last time, it's a mark to indicate we have to use present perfect.
So, you're right about last time being a marker, but it's probably not a marker for present perfect.
No, past perfect, sorry.
Well, it could be a marker for past perfect, but in this case it's not. It's a marker for?
Well, I mean present simple past.
Yeah, simple past.
Simple past. Simple past is in the second line. And I'm talking about this line.
Okay, so we have last time, which marks the simple past for the verb see. And we know it marks the simple past because it's like one event, not something that happened over a period. It's just one time in the past. What about the first one? Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
Can we use you grown at least a foot? And don't use has grown? You have grown?
I think that's what he said.
No, but I mean, can we use simple past?
You grew at least a foot?
Yeah.
You could use it. It's not the most common tense, but it's not the worst either. So if you say, The reason we would use the perfect here is because you probably didn't grow a foot one day or like one time. It probably happened over a period of time. So we would probably use the perfect tense. But if you did use the simple past, it wouldn't be a really big problem because it's pretty much the same thing, and I would still totally understand you. It just isn't the most common tense here.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for helping us here. So we have the word since that marks the first verb. Last time marks the second verb. And we talked about the period, which marks the third verb. Our last one, I totally forgot whose turn it was. I would like someone to volunteer for this one.
It was my turn.
All right, you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It was totally luck that he decided to give me the apartment. It turns out that the landlord and my father go to high school together. He decided that I could have the apartment before he looked at my credit report. I really look out. In the first line, we use decide simple past.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that landlord and my father went to high school together. Simple past again.
Mm-hmm.
He decided I could have it apartment before. He looked for past simple past the three lines.
Okay, so you said simple past for all of them, right?
Yeah.
All right, simple past for all of them certainly will work. We could change one of them to a different tense. Does anybody know which one we could change to another tense?
Last one.
And what would you change it to?
I'll put had looked
And tell us why you might put that.
because he's talking about two events, one before the other. So
Yeah,
yeah, one is simple
exactly.
past.
Mm-hmm. So we use the past perfect most commonly when we're creating some kind of timeline, a story. This happened, and oh yeah, this other thing happened before. So something that you maybe forgot to put in. And in this case, we have a similar situation. He decided that I could have the apartment. That's in the past. And it works really nicely to say that he had looked at my credit report, because then we know that that happened before the other past event. We have other markers like before, so you could use the simple past and it would still mean the same thing because we have the other markers. But the past perfect is probably the best tense to use here.
Oh, I see.
All right. Do you guys have any questions before we move on to a little sentence creation?
No.
Okay, so we are going to play a game now. And the game involves us guessing each other's birth years. I have created 5 clues for the year I was born. And if you're really good, you might even be able to guess the month. Okay, let's have Maria. Can you read the clues for us?
What, the first?
Starts
Teacher.
with President Clinton. Read
Yes.
these clues.
Okay. President Clinton of the US had not yet been elected. George Bush had been running the White House for 1 year. Nelson Mandela had been freed 2 months before. 6 months later, Western and Eastern Germany unite. September 11 will not have occurred for 11 years.
Thank you very much. So those are clues for the year I was born. Does anybody think they know when I was born?
'89.
So close. Anyone else?
1990.
Yes, 1990.
Yeah, that's
All
my
right.
year too.
Very cool. So let's look at my sentences and we'll talk a sec about these clues. So President Clinton had not yet been elected. What tense is that?
Past
Past
perfect.
perfect.
Past perfect.
Past perfect. Okay. What about the second one? George Bush had been running the White House for 1 year.
The same tense.
Okay, the same, but it's a little more complicated. We have
Continuous.
yes. Past perfect continuous. What about the next one? He had been freed 2 months before.
It's past perfect.
Past perfect. Past simple. Past perfect.
Did I hear
Had
past
been.
perfect?
Yeah.
Past perfect. Had been.
Okay, past perfect. And there's one more twist to this one. Had been freed.
Continuum past perfect. Continuum.
Almost. This one is actually past perfect passive.
Oh,
So
yeah.
in this case, we could reorganize the sentence to say something like, South
Yeah.
Africa freed Nelson Mandela 2 months before. But that's not really that important, so we didn't say that. We used the passive.
Okay.
Okay, what about the next one? 6 months later, Western and Eastern Germany united.
Simple past.
And September 11th will not have occurred for 11 years.
Simple future.
Not exactly simple future.
Well,
Will not
present
have
perfect.
occurred.
Present perfect in the future.
Yes, future perfect tense, which is one we have not talked about yet today. Okay,
Yeah.
so these are all appropriate tenses for clues. What is a tense that would not be appropriate to make a clue? There's one tense we talked a lot about today that I can't use in order to make a clue.
Present perfect.
Yes, present perfect. Why can we not use present perfect?
Or something that is happening yet.
You were born a lot years ago. Not maybe a lot.
Yeah. So present perfect is up until now. So probably that won't be the best tense for clue making. You might be able to find a way to use it, but it's just not going to be the easiest thing. So now I'd like you guys to write a couple of sentences using any of the tenses that I showed here or another one. If you can find a way to use another tense, you're welcome to use something else as well. Write clues about your birth year, and we'll see if we can guess them. So we'll give you guys maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Try to write fast because we don't have much time left. But if you get your clues in, we might be able to guess your birthday. Awesome. We have one set ready. Max, will you read your clues for us?
Yes, of course. I find a couple of clues. The first one is The Godfather was in the cinemas, and the second one is very famous. It was the year of the Watergate.
Ooh, interesting.
I don't know. I don't know.
Any ideas? I know I'm close, but I don't know the exact year. Does anyone know the exact year?
Like in 80s? But I don't know.
90s.
75. Google knows.
Did you say 74?
75. 75.
No.
75?
No?
No. 72.
72.
Ah.
Yeah. I have mine ready too.
We're not exactly historians here. We were kind of close, but not quite.
No.
Great clues. I love those.
Yeah.
It takes some creativity to come up with good clues because it has to be something that most people will know. Oh, sweet. Another one is ready. Rodolfo, read it for us.
FIFA World Cup was in Italy, so Max, you must know my year. And Salinas de Gortari had been elected 3 years ago. He's a president of Mexico, very famous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a decade more for the century was out.
All right, guys, any guesses? What's his birthday year?
FIFA World Cup, I watched that.
90?
Was it in the 90s? Was it 1990?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes. Wonderful clues and good guessing, guys. Still waiting on a couple. Try to get your clues in fast because we only have a few minutes of class left.
Yeah.
Even if you only have one or two ready, you can go ahead and put them in the chat box and we will do our best to guess the year.
Yeah.
Go.
How about Dimitri? Oh, look, Maria's ready. Maria, go ahead and read them for us.
Different digits.
Okay, but it's difficult.
Lol.
I
I
don't.
like the first one too.
Okay, one it was also the last year to have 4 different digits through 2013, and two is issued the first time in America the animated series The Simpsons.
Ooh, interesting. So it's the first year that The Simpsons started playing on TV.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Is anybody a fan of The Simpsons?
1985.
1985. Maria, is that right?
What is the number? Sorry, I can hear you.
1985, he said.
1985.
Yes, this is.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wonderful job. Good guessing. I don't think I would have known that. I love The Simpsons, but I have no idea
I'm
what
a
year.
freaky.
No.
Freaky.
Teacher is 1987.
Ah,
Oh.
1987. Well, we were close,
Yeah.
but not
Yes.
quite.
Very close.
Okay, and Dimitri, will you read us yours?
And my age is almost as Jesus.
Sorry,
Have you
I
33
didn't find
years?
what?
Have you 33 years old?
I said almost.
32?
Maybe I don't know some.
Are you older or
I don't
younger
know
than
some
Jesus?
history. I maybe
Jesus died
can
at
say it
53.
was.
Hold on, Rodolfo. Let him talk for a second. Dimitri,
Okay,
what did he
sorry.
say?
I'm trying to say that it was for years after Afghanistan war had begun.
Wow, okay. So you said years after the Afghanistan war had begun?
Yes, 4 years.
Anybody know? I will admit that I am stumped.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Almost as old as Jesus. Is that what you said? I see. When he died. Oh, interesting. That's a really interesting clue. I like that clue. 40. I don't know. I really don't remember how old he was.
Jesus died at 53 years old.
53. Wow. Excellent clues. Creativity there,
Indicates.
Dimitri. I love it. All
Are
right.
you older or younger than Jesus?
I'm younger, of course.
Okay.
It's almost.
right.
It's 3 decades. I'm 30.
So, we have run out of time. Your clues were awesome. Your conjugation was superb. And I have another class starting right now. So I have to run. But thank you guys for coming and talking with me, playing this game. And I hope to see you all again another time very soon.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Max was happy.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.